Hello, my name is Jim Tripodi. I am a technical education consultant with the RSA Archer Education Services team. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about Archer and the benefits that you can gain from using the Archer platform. But first of all, recently I've been thinking a little bit about the evolution of the risk and security industry. I saw a blog by David Martz. David indicated in there that as early back as the 1800s that people were beginning to define processes and procedures. In addition to that, then it evolved into looking at regulatory bodies and frameworks such as compliance and how we do that, and then best practices and standards. A focus came into play in the evolution with IT and IT risk management. And then we started looking at more of the compliance and audit compliance and risk and putting those together, but they were still fairly independent and siloed activities. There's a recognition that we needed to combine that from an enterprise standpoint, and then the evolution moved on to what was called Enterprise GRC, or Enterprise Governance, Risk, and Compliance, where the IT and information security aligned with governance, risk, and compliance. One of the more significant recent industry changes was what was called the 3 lines of defense. Corporate departments recognized that they couldn't alone manage risk, compliance, and governance with the speed that things were changing and the magnitude at which they were changing. So they needed more involvement and help with the actual business operations line staff. We at Archer went ahead and aligned Archer and configured that to align with that change. The next evolution of that is what's called integrated risk management, where we're seeing vulnerabilities and security tying in with the business context and putting that together, whether it be with business processes or business organization components, looking at things like vendor management. So tying all of this together with one platform that integrates all of that. The commitment that we're making to you from Archer is that as these changes occur, we're keeping very current with these changes in the industry, reconfiguring the platform so you can be confident that as industry changes, you're getting a platform that aligns with the current industry standard for how these processes and activities occur. Let me just show you one of those and how that works here. So as an illustration of what we do at RSA Archer to keep our commitment to you to deliver a platform that is most current with industry standards, we're going to look at the different views a user could have. So if I click on this tab on our platform that's called a workspace, it brings up our traditional view that we had in the past with windows, and these individual windows are called eye views, which show reports or graphs and information where someone could quickly evaluate the information and make decisions. Different users could have different windows, different displays, different dashboards configured to meet their specific needs. This is the traditional view, but as that industry evolved, as I said, to the 3 lines of defense and involving business users more in utilizing Archer to gather information and have them enter it into a platform rather than being bombarded by multiple corporate departments, we aligned Archer with that industry evolution. So we created this task-driven landing page to allow the first line of defense, our operational business staff, to easily navigate and have a simple display where they could perform their transactional work. This first column on the left is called the task widget, where when someone would come in to work in the morning, they would have a list of all the tasks that they need to perform. All they would need to do was click on the link for that particular task, and it would take them right to that page where they could perform the task. You may have experienced a situation where you had a system or platform where you enter information and you just couldn't remember how you navigated to a specific record. Archer can be configured and set up to the last 25 records, the last 25 entries that you've made, and interactions with the platform would be recorded and stored here in your activity, and you could go right back to that record that you were working on without worrying about how did I navigate there. So that's the second benefit. The third one is rather than navigating through an extensive menu to get to a link that would allow you to perform certain actions, users or administrators can create buttons or charts to allow you to quickly go into that information. For example, if I'm working with information, I find out there's a gap or deficiency that needs to be reported to my company. Typically, we call those findings. I can simply click on this button for findings and go right into the record and complete my entries and then close that record. Again, you can see there's no complex navigation. It's very simple, and we've designed that to create the operational users a platform that they can use with ease and simplicity. One of the things I'd like to highlight, and we'll start off here in terms of training that we have available for you, are the agendas for the Administrator 1 and Administrator 2 classes. Archer Admin 1 takes you through a sequence of learning what Archer is used for, what its purpose is, what the structure is, how to navigate. After that, we start building it. So as an administrator, you're going to build components, and it's different than other platforms where you had to actually write code to create different presentations or activities. There's no code creation. You use a graphical user interface to create the layout, the displays, and the activities. So we teach you how to build a basic shell, which is an application, and put the fields in there, and then how to set up a navigation menu with a different layout. The next day we talk about workflow and the different components that are used in that. Components that are called data-driven events, if-then statements with rules, where Archer will actually do some of the work for you. You didn't buy Archer to be an access database and store information only. You wanted to actually do some automation of your processes, and we teach you how to do that. We have individual permissioning for users. We teach you how to do access control. On the third day of the Admin 1 course, we talk about bringing content into Archer, and then we talk to you about how to create searches, save them as reports, and display that information. In most companies, you've got different platforms or instances of Archer, one where the developers develop, one where your testers test, and one where your production environment where users are actually using Archer. We'll teach you how to put together that configuration you've done into a zip file and move that along. I'm sure you wouldn't want to take 3 months building something and have to build it in 2 other places again after you've built it. That allows you to move that configuration along. On the last day, we give you some demonstrations on questionnaires, on our advanced workflow feature. We talk about the resources that are available to you in continuing your Archer learning journey, and we talk about certification with a review question that we go through. The other course that I'd like to highlight is our Admin 2 course. This is a continuation for administrators to take a deeper dive into some of the topics that we introduced in the Administrative 1 class. And I would say anyone that's an Archer administrator, this is a must-take. You will definitely benefit from the Admin 2 class. I think you will find yourself wanting for some skills and some abilities if you just stop at Admin 1. In Admin 2, the first day we focus on reporting and go into some advanced methods of how to create reports, but not only that, how to display them in more creative ways and how to distribute them to your users and automatically have those reports sent out to people rather than you having to generate them or email them or send them out. The second day, we build on that workflow work that we did in Admin 1, and we evolve and progress from the feature-driven workflow using features such as data-driven events, notifications, calculations, and access control to building a image-driven workflow with little images called nodes, and you actually have a box for each step in the process, and each of those boxes represents a step that are more easily configured and give you a better visual display and an easier way to troubleshoot your workflows. The third day is on more of a deep dive into data feeds, so we go into the different methods and ways to get data feeds from different sources, such as a zip file instead of the limited file or CSV file, a database, an XML formatted document. So we teach you how to do data feeds. We also do data feeds between 2 Archer applications or from Archer development to Archer test. So all these different data feeds we'll go into. And the last day, we focus on questionnaires and troubleshooting with a little introduction into the Archer instance creation and log troubleshooting. Questionnaires on how to build those surveys and assessments and how to launch them on a scheduled basis. In addition to keeping you current with industry practices with the platform and be confident that we're providing you with that, we've taken these training courses and aligned them with your role. For example, for the Archer Administrator, we've already talked about the Admin 1 and Admin 2 courses. In order to pass your certifications, you'll also need to have an understanding of our use case areas or solutions. So we have free on-demand learning courses for audit management, business resiliency, IT security risk management, operational risk management, regulatory and corporate compliance, third-party governance, and public sector. Those will be essential for you administrators as you go on to get your certifications. For end users, we've got a brand new course that we've developed on end user course. We often get questions, or had often in the past gotten questions about how do I set Archer up on a server? How do I set up the Archer control panel? How do I do troubleshooting and logging? We've created a brand new infrastructure course for those of you that want to look more of it from the server side and installation and setup of the control panel. In addition, we have a course that's designed for the installation overview and the infrastructure and maintenance best practices. So for those of you that are working more on the installation and setup side, those courses would be very helpful for you. As far as some of the courses that we talked about in Admin 1, we do have one-day courses for advanced workflow and for the end user course and for the reporting and navigation. We would hope that you'd come and take a minute to look at the courses on RSA University. We're providing you that link here. And if you have any questions at all, and we can help you with that, please contact your account manager, your instructor that has worked with you previously, or email us at RSA University and ask for more information and how you can find out which courses would best benefit you. Thanks for your time, and we're excited about being a partner with you on your career path and learning journey with Archer.